these are my best batch of jokes, and I wouldn't have gotten there without DMT and ayahuasca. So like, that's my version of psychopath and drug addict. It's like I'm not a drug addict, but I'm a drug user.
How many times have you done them?
I call it Aya because I have such a casual relationship. I say it so much.
I thought you were going to say.
No, you thought I have done between 15 and 20 times.
What?
Yeah,
I thought that was a one-off. Like you do it once in a warehouse.
15. If you're weak, it's a one-off. How funny do you want your special to be? Yeah, 15 to 20, and then DMT.
15 to 20.
Yeah. DMT I did once, but it felt like a million times. So like, and that was the one that broke me, and then I kind of I've recongealed. But yeah, like
when Blocks came out, was that when you did DMT?
I think that's done DMT while I was performing Blocks, but I had to stay in the Blocks.
Right.
I was kind of not even feeling that way anymore, but I was. So this was like, this is DMT Neal. The first and second special thanks, and the special is ayahuasca and DMT.
The what?
In Crazy Good, special thanks.
Right.
Ayahuasca, DMT.
Oh, right.
I make no bones about it. So, like, I am living proof that I guess drugs, you can't get there without drugs. I hate to say it, but in my experience, it got me an ability I didn't have prior.
You never smoked weed?
No, I don't like weed.
Right.
Although I haven't done it since, I haven't smoked weed in
when you were a child.
Years. Yeah.
So no drugs up until that point, really.
I would smoke weed. I tried smoking weed 6 years ago, and it was just like, I hate this.
Yeah.
But I know people that do weed therapeutically, like like eye mask, shake.
Oh, really?
People, yeah. So I feel like that part of weed might work for me, but I feel whatever it's supposed to do, I think I've gotten there via other.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because like if you smoke weed early on, like that kind of kicks doors open. Yeah. Initially. Yeah. But it does not.
It didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who knows?
Is it? I mean, that's a lot of times. Is it as potent, or do you feel like you've gotten to the end of it?
No, it's very potent.
You want to keep doing
potent. It? Well, it's like a spiritual experience. So it is. I connect with what I understand as a God central creation force.
Right.
So it's
each time.
Yeah.
And you remember it, and like when you go into a new one, you do it again. Are you like, oh, I'm back here? Are you conscious
what
of
happens
that?
is, or what's happened to me is, I kind of have it with me all the time now.
Right.
Like I don't need to do it as often.
Yeah,
I do because it's helpful, but it gets into the groundwater. Right. So then you kind of have it all the time.
Right.
And then what's happened with ayahuasca is it because I've done it. It turns other drugs into ayahuasca, meaning if I do mushrooms,
good coffee.
I mean mushrooms becomes ayahuasca. Same experience, right. Very similar. Yeah, like slightly different tone, but same. Yeah, and
that's
MDMA.
Interesting. Oh yeah,
yeah, is a common. It becomes ayahuasca, so it's just like a spiritual God thing.
When I was younger and did mushrooms and LSD, and that it was very similar. Like it was that all of a sudden, these are no longer just the woods around your house. This is now this life force that is creeping through the windows and the air and your eyebrows and
you're
your soul.
In it. You are it. You're experiencing it.
I wonder how different it is.
It might not be different, but that sounds similar to what I experience.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you can get there, I never got there. I would just get in like the whoa. I was just caught up in like the there was no. I didn't know that you could. I guess you could get there without knowing. I just didn't. It was always in sort of a social setting,
right?
So
Seeing a band or something.
doing these things.
Do you have to cry a lot? Do you cry every time?
No. I cry. I mean, there have been times where I like really cried, and there have been times like Theo talked about it. He cried so much he didn't understand how he had liquids left.
Right.
But I've cried sometimes, other times not.
Right.
Other times kind of fun. I've written bits on it. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you're there. It's like a double consciousness thing.
So you can just do it at home now? You don't have to,
I can't. You can. I have a friend who did. There are people that do it at home. I like the communal 25 people.
Right.
Really?
Because you just said that you don't having people around. And for me, like that part of it is that tripping balls doesn't bother me. It's the doing it while these other folks are around.
Here's the good news.
Yeah.
They got their hands full. They're not giving up. They're trying not to puke or they're trying to puke or they're trying to just hold on to sanity.
Right.
Or they're dealing with a sexual assault from 40 years. Like they're just dealing. They don't care what you're going through. Like best of luck. And there are people that will help you. But like, it's anyone who's like, I don't want to get recognized. I'm like, no one's going to care.
Yeah. No one cares
about what you do.
Who cares?
Right.
Yeah, and there's people there that are there to help.
Yes. Guardians. Yeah.
Right. Did you ever have a bad trip on it?
Yeah. Many.
Yeah.
Many. Thanks for asking. I had incredible trips. And then I had another one where I was thrust into outer space and the universe died and I was by myself in outer space.
Oh, geez.
And I breathed loudly as a beacon just in case they sent to look for me. I don't even know what the logic of this was. But
wow.
I breathed loud. I went, It's called samadhi breathing. And I was doing it with Ian Edwards. And I was like, hey, how long was I breathing like that for? And he goes, 3 hours. It's like, wow.
Is that how long it lasts?
It lasts 6 or if you drink more, it'll be like 7-8 hours.
Wow.
There's second cup and third cup, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So,
jeez.
But
3 hours of breathing like that.
Yeah. I don't remember. I didn't expect. I was losing my mind. I didn't know what was happening.
Wow.
So, but
could you crack?
I cracked from 5-MeO DMT, which is a toad excretion or secretion or excretion, whatever.
Someone gave that to me.
5-MeO?
Yeah, the little flakes of the toad stuff.
Yeah. Where is it?
Do you have it? I threw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Because I was alone.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Like a budget hotel in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And someone gave it to me.
We figured that's where you were.
Yeah. It was like, Erica Rhodes was with me on the road.
So this is fairly recently.
This was like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I don't think this is the time or place to do this by yourself in the days. No,
it's also like it's way too profound for that. Like, you gotta give it some respect. So that broke me.
It did break you.
Yes, which I've talked about a lot on other podcasts, so I won't bore you. But it took me about 1.5 years to recover fully. Yeah.
Wow.
So it broke me in November of 2021, and I recovered March of 2023.
Jeez. All right.
Like full recovery.
We're not doing that one, Joe.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, but although maybe. No, think about it. You got to have an open mind, man. Are you cool or not, man?
I'm microdosing now. Not currently, but in general.
Yeah.
And
how do you like it?
I like it a lot.
Great. You forget about it.
Totally forget about it.
And you're like, oh.
You're just like,
I wasn't perturbed at all today.
Right. That's exactly it.
Yeah. And then you're like, why was that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Very similar, but though, to the same feeling I get at the end of the day if I've worked out. And like if I work out and then at the end of the day, I'm like, I wasn't really bothered. It was like, because I worked out.
Do you, how often are you working out?
Like 3 times a week.
Great.
Yeah.
You got a help? You got anybody helping you?
No, I'm a Peloton.
Okay.
Or running, but mostly Peloton.
This is as good as that. If you guys want to buy a Peloton, I'm looking to get rid of mine.
Are you really?
Of course I am.
You couldn't do it?
I didn't mind. I just don't. I don't think bicycling is hard enough. As like or it just feels like a one zone exercise. It just feels kind of like.
That's because you're not with Matt Wilpers going in the power zone exercise.
Oh, that must be my mistake.
It gets really hard.
Yeah, I believe it. Also,
I'm on a 4-year streak with the Peloton.
Are you really?
Of doing it at least once a week.
That's great.
It kind of hooked me.
Did you lose weight, gain definition? Did anything
my legs
happen?
are bigger.
Yep.
My legs are stronger. I lost weight, and I just really, the thing that really kicked it in was I started it before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic it kept me sane.
Yeah.
It was like a more of a mental, like, during those times.
Yep.
And yeah, just for overall health.
Yeah, like I'm not. There's no pandemic. Nothing's changed.
Yeah. And you're also very skinny, and I get fat.
I would get fat.
You would?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's impossible for you to be fat.
There's fat Brennans.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Is there fat photos of you?
No, but there are fat other members of my family.
Right.
But yeah, I could get there if I didn't pay attention.